Hello, hello. In this video, we're going to be producing another part for the bar stool project. Now, in recent videos, we've produced the back and armrests, as well as the vertical arm supports. In this video, we're going to produce the legs for the stool. So come along with me, and let's go see how to make this on the Maverick 4x4 CNC system. I want you to tell me if this scenario sounds familiar. You've picked out a project that you want to produce, you even have the project plans, the material choice, and then you realize, how am I going to build this thing? I think every woodworker runs into that scenario where we have to problem solve. Well, in these videos, I want to bring you along with me as I prototype these project plans and share with you the decisions I make and why I make them. So this bar stool requires 3 legs that are going to attach to the vertical arm supports that we did in the previous video. And like the vertical arm supports, these legs need to receive 2 different setups and cutting steps. The first is cutting out the shape of the leg here on the horizontal work surface. This is being held with the low pro clamps that we've used in all the other components throughout this project with the slotted T-track table. Using side clamps like this, I have to oversize my blank to give myself enough clearance to cut out the part. Now the cutter I'm using here is the same as the others. It's a 3/8 down spiral cutter, and theoretically a smaller cutter could also do the job. A smaller tool means that you have less waste material, your blank doesn't have to be as large, but these legs are 1.25 inches thick. You can find long, thinner tools like a 1/4 inch cutter that has 1.25 inches or 1.5 inches cutting length. But I find that you have to cut a lot slower to prevent the cutter from breaking. This 3/8 cutter does a wonderful job. It takes 4 passes cutting out each leg, which is about 5/16 of an inch per pass, and I'm able to do this at about 200 inches a minute. So we get to decide whether to oversize our blank a little bit more based on the larger cutter, or save a little material and cut slower with a smaller cutter. Here I chose speed over the cost of material. The other thing I want to point out is I did not use any tabs to hold the leg in place as it cut the entire shape out. And you might ask why. Well, there's a couple of variables here that are working for me that allow me to do this. First is the thickness of the material. There's a lot of sawdust being compacted in that groove that's holding the part in place during the machining process, acting as tabs themselves. The other thing I've experimented with is the type of cutter that allows me to do this. An up spiral cutter wants to pull the material up and away from the table, and so with those cutters I would put tabs. But here, that down spiral gives me 2 advantages. One, it makes it so I have minimum tear out along the top edge of that hardwood material. And 2, it's actually pushing the material down during the machining process so that I don't need that 3D tab. Another thing I decided when cutting out my part is to cut past the bottom of the part by about 0.02 inches, 20 thousandths of an inch. I find I get a cleaner edge on the bottom, and if my table fixture or part is fluctuating in any way, I'm still able to cut through the entire part. That also means that my cutter is actually lightly cutting into my table fixtures, and you can see all of those cutting grooves that were left behind from past projects. If you don't wish to cut into your table fixture, you can always put a thin sacrificial board that's the same size of the blank that you're producing right underneath the blank. I like to use 1/8 inch melamine or plywood or MDF. And again, I can still use the low pro clamps to hold my part in place, cut my part out, it simply cuts into the spoil board, and then you just throw it away after you're done. Now that we've cut out all 3 legs, we need to add the joinery, the tenons, to the end of those legs. That means we need a way to orient this blank in the vertical workstation so that the joinery is added exactly where we want it to be. This is done using the exact same technique as those vertical arm supports by creating a custom fence that mirrors the shape of the leg. We also added some 1/4 inch drilled holes and used a 1/4 inch down spiral cutter to clear out some pockets and cut out the final shape of the fence. This is now ready to be used to align everything up for the leg. By matching the hole pattern that we have on this aluminum vertical plate, it makes it really easy and fast to bolt it into place, and now we can use the fence to slide the part right into position using that stop. These tenons are what will be used to join the legs to the bottom of our seat. Now in a previous video when we did the round tenon for the top of the vertical arm supports, we used a long 1/2" cutter because of the length of the tenon. The tenons here on the legs are only 5/8 of an inch tall. And I like to use a large surfacing cutter that can clean up the entire perimeter of the material in one shot instead of having to work my way in with multiple tool paths. I couldn't use this technique though in the vertical arm supports because the surfacing cutter can only cut about 1 inch deep before I run out of stroke. I want to point out the direction that we're cutting is climb milling. This helps prevent any tear out on all of those exposed edges and corners so that we get the cleanest cut possible. I gave myself a 10,000th allowance around the entire perimeter of that tenon. So technically that's 20,000ths of an inch narrower to allow for expansion when we add glue to the joint. Now there are many ways to join two pieces of wood together. Here, the way we're mounting the vertical arm support to the face of the leg is by creating that notched section. And so those simply mirror one another and you can see they slide right together, giving us a perfect alignment and something that is repeatable for every glue up. This is coming together quite nicely. Now, if you have any ideas or recommendations on how you would approach this or make any changes, please comment below. We'd love to have that conversation with you guys. Now, we only have 2 parts left in the actual bar stool. So in the next video, we're going to be producing the footrest, which attaches to the bottom of these actual legs. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.